Chapter 4, Mishnah 4. This Mishnah deals with another case in which a utensil that is Tevul Yom is being used with produce from which tithes, in this case Trumas Maisa, are being separated. The Mishnah will explain what must be done if it is not practical to remove the produce from the Tevul Yom utensil before the verbal declaration. And we now turn to the words of the Mishnah. Someone took a pitcher that is Tevul Yom and filled it with wine taken from a barrel of Meiser that is untithed, meaning that Trumas Meiser had not yet been taken from this barrel of Meiser wine. He wishes the wine in the pitcher to become Trumas Meiser for the rest of the wine in the barrel, but he cannot declare it to be Trumas Meiser now, because if he does so, it will become possible because it is touching the Tevul Yom pitcher. To avoid this problem, he should specify that as Trumas Meiser will take effect, To avoid this problem, he should specify that he wishes to delay the time when his verbal declaration of the wine in the pitcher as Trumas Meiser will take effect as follows. If he says, this wine should become Trumas Meiser after nightfall, when the pitcher will no longer be a Tevul Yom, it becomes Trumas Meiser only after nightfall, and therefore it remains Tahor. Making a declaration of this sort will prevent the Trumas Meiser from becoming Tameh, because it does not become Trumas Meiser until nightfall. The Mishnah notes that while this is the desired outcome with respect to Tuma, it will have an opposite effect if the person wishes to use the wine in the pitcher to establish an Eruv Tehum. To understand the next segment of the Mishnah, knowledge of the following basic laws of Eruv Tehumin is necessary. A person is forbidden from traveling on Shabbos Yom Tovim by foot more than 2,000 amos, between 3,000 and 4,000 feet, in any direction from wherever his legal place of dwelling is at the beginning of Shabbos. This limit is known as a Tehum Shabbos boundary. Normally, a person's legal place of residence is wherever he is found when Shabbos begins. It is possible, however, for a person to change his legal place of dwelling by making an Eruv Tehumin, or Erev for short, before Shabbos. He does this by placing food in a place up to 2,000 amos from his actual location. The place where food is will now be considered his legal place of residence for purposes of determining his Shabbos boundary, even if he was not physically located near the food when Shabbos began. This will allow him to travel 4,000 amos on Shabbos in the direction of the Erev, 2,000 amos until he reaches the Erev, and another 2,000 beyond it. An Erev Tehumin can only be made using food that is permitted for eating, and since it must be in place before Shabbos, the food must have been permitted to be eaten before Shabbos. Because of this, if it is Friday and one designated wine in a Tevul Yom pitcher as Trumas Meiser with the condition that it should not become Trumas Meiser until nightfall, the wine in the pitcher cannot be used to make an Eruv Tehumin. We now return to the words of the Mishnah. Thus, if he says, this wine shall be an Erev, it is as if he has not said anything, and the Erev is ineffective. As long as the wine in the pitcher does not become Trumas Meiser, it is forbidden for eating. Therefore, it cannot be used to make an Erev because it will not be edible until nightfall, at which point Shabbos is already started and it is too late to make an Erev. The Mishnah teaches two other laws that apply when a person designates wine in the pitcher as Trumas Meiser and stipulates that it should not become Trumas Meiser until nightfall. If the barrel of wine broke while it was still daytime and the wine in the barrel spilled out, the contents of the pitcher remain Tevul even after nightfall. Since at the time that the Trumas Meiser was supposed to take effect, there is no longer any Meiser wine in the barrel, on behalf of which to make the wine in the pitcher into Trumas Meiser, the designation cannot take effect, and the wine in the pitcher remains untithed Meiser. Similarly, if the pitcher breaks before nightfall, the wine in the barrel remains Tevul, since no Trumas Meiser was taken from it.